Aries. This is Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra, Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What I normally do is let flip, fly, or fall anywhere from 5 to 7 tarot cards. And you got the Lovers card as it flipped out, but you got the Chariot card in reverse. So that love relationship that you are in the middle of or wanting to start is not getting ready to start, or it's stuck. I mean, it could be that. It could be either or. It's like you got your person picked out, but for whatever reason, it's not going anywhere. So let's keep going and see if we can figure out why it's not going anywhere. Knight of Cups in the upright position. So let me think about that. He's got, he, she, it, whoever has something to say and they want to make an offer. Six of Wands, but I feel like they want to have something exciting to say to you, though, like to move it forward. Okay, I'm like, what? Let me keep going. And the Five of Wands in reverse. So that's kind of coming out of being stuck. So what is the holdup? Ace of Swords. Okay, so that makes me think there's some truth that needs to get spoken. And until that truth gets spoken, nothing's moving forward. So the question is, do you need to speak some truth or do they need to speak some truth? That is the question at hand before it moves forward. So since I'm talking to Aries, I'm going to pull emotions and I'm going to see, okay, what kind of emotions you guys are feeling right now about this situation. Damn, man, a lot, apparently, because I got cards flipping out all over the place. Okay, so first card is you're feeling regretful and you're feeling curious and you're feeling trusting. So maybe you did something in the past that you're a little regretful for. Maybe you said something that was hurtful. You did something that was hurtful to the other person. And that's why that Ace of Swords is coming out, is because you need to say you're sorry, or you need to, maybe, I feel like I'm hearing, I need to explain the situation. I feel like I need to explain why I did what I did. And until you can do that, you're not going to be comfortable moving forward, because it's like something is still being hidden and not out in the open. So let's keep going. Hopeful. So far, I mean, all of these cards are feeling pretty good. So it doesn't feel like this is anything that's going to stop it forever. It just feels like it's a little hitch at the moment, kind of like, I need to do this before I can flip that Chariot card around and make this move forward. I need to speak my mind, get some stuff out on the table. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so there's some other cards mixed in here. You're feeling some grief. That's interesting. I did not know that there were other cards mixed in here. So you're feeling some grief about something, apparently. This is a different deck, but that flew out in the middle of this, so obviously it wanted to come out. So you're feeling some grief, which goes along with the regretful card. Feeling some grief and some regret. And since that Ace of Swords is out, it makes me just think that maybe you did something or said something, and the hateful card came out in reverse. So that makes me feel like you're opening your heart. Oh my God, and the grief card just came out. Okay, so obviously there's some grief times two that you guys are feeling about something between you and this other person that, and I feel like if you can just get it out, kind of say it and say, I'm sorry that I did this, or I'm sorry that my past relationships affected this relationship. I'm sorry that whatever, and I'm trying to think, is there anything else with that grief card? I just feel like it's something about being sorry. You're really sorry that you did things, said things, whatever, and you didn't know better. It's kind of like you were working from old programming in the past. And you just, feel bad about that. It's okay. You know what? Everybody worked from old programming in the past. And if you have another person on the other end who's, they're going to understand that. First of all, if they will understand it or they won't understand it. If they don't understand it, it's because they are not fully healed either. And that is not your fault. Your job is to heal yourself, and hopefully the people that surround you will kind of follow suit if they haven't already. So keep that in mind. Kind of show them how it's done. If you want a relationship to become better, then you need to show them how it's done. This is how you show that you have trust for somebody. This is how, you show forgiveness. This is how you do this, that, and the other. Waiting on the other person to do it first is not going to be the answer. So keep that in mind. I just had this conversation with somebody this morning who is wanting to get their person back. And I was like, yeah, he's got really bad trust issues. So you're going to have to kind of show him how it's done and lead the way. So that's kind of the message. You are going to have to lead the way in this speaking of the truth, because it doesn't feel like the other person is going to do that. Or if they do, you could wait and just wait forever. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. My mind's going 90 miles an hour here. Okay, so what next cards? Okay. Oh, okay. So, not sure what happened to me. I am going to, these are some of the cards that, let me think what do I want to ask? So it's obvious, these were the emotions that we just talked about. So, okay, I'm trying to think of what question to ask that will be most helpful for you guys. Before you can move forward on this journey, on this relationship, some truth needs to be spoken. So we've got the emotions that you are feeling. I guess I'm just going to say, what are some things in the past that tripped you up? Some unhealed things that tripped you up that maybe made you do things that you were working from old programming. I guess that's that one came out. Completion. God, let me think about that one. So I feel like an end of a cycle. You were still in the middle of a cycle before. Old programming, old ways of doing things, old cycles of doing things the way you always did. And so because of that, you were working from the old way of thinking. This is how I've always reacted before. This is how I've always done things before, blah, 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 blah. And you had to get out of that situation before you could move forward. So I feel like that was part of it, was like you were in a cycle. Could have been a karmic cycle, could have been just like an astrological cycle. It could have just been any kind of cycle that, the universe was like, when you complete this, you can move forward. And so you have completed that. Therefore, you will be operating from a different operating system, which is more about speaking the truth, feeling more comfortable with yourself, not being afraid of what the other person thinks of you, having less fear around expressing yourself. All of the things that you have needed to have in the past that you didn't because you were working from old programming. Okay, so what else was going on? What were you working from in the past that maybe made you not handle things as good as you could have? Passion. Okay, so the first thing that pops up to me is there might have been a lot of sexual chemistry between you and this other person, and you may have moved into a sexual relationship way before you should have, because your body parts were running the show and not maybe the logical part of, I see some red flags there. There's some stuff going on that maybe something's not on the up and up here. So again, you were leading with your body parts and not the part of your mind that was like, yeah, something's not right here. I feel like they are lying. I feel like they are this. I feel like they were this. I feel like they were this. And all I'm just going to say is like your biology took over, and that can get people in trouble a lot of times. Gossip. Okay. So this is what I had to look this up in the book because this did not make sense when it kept coming out in different readings. But what I figured out was gossip is more about you making an assumption about somebody, maybe from watching their social media or whatever. It was like you made a judgment about somebody without knowing all the facts. So that kind of goes along with the passion. You made a judgment about somebody, kind of like, oh my God, they're going to be really, really good in bed, and I'm going to hop in bed with them and everything's going to be all peachy. Or I'm going to hop in bed with them, I'm going to use them for sex, and then I'm going to be done with them. And then you found out there was more there, and that's why you have continued to stay connected to each other. It was like, I just wanted to roll in the hay, and you ended up having a brain that went along with that. So that's one of the reasons things started off kind of shaky, was because I didn't see you as long-term potential in the first place. I only saw you as a one-time thing, or maybe to use you for sex. And I'm really sorry that I did that, but you know what? That's kind of that's what it is. That could be part of the story that you're feeling some grief about is, I'm like, my ears are plugging up really bad right now. So maybe I'm onto something there. I'm like, oh God. Quest. Oh, see that? Okay. So that also goes along with, okay. So when you see somebody and you're like, I want to bed them, and maybe they're saying no, and it's like, that makes you want to bed them even more. It feels like there was this thing that happened between you guys, and it was like you started on this journey going down a different road than where it ended up taking you. And the reasons for starting a relationship with this person was started for different reasons, and it's ended up in a different place. And you feel guilty about that, perhaps. And that could be where some of the grief is because maybe in that process, you treated them as somebody who was disposable because you only saw them as a sex partner and not a long-term relationship. And so you feel some grief about that, of thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that, I was going to use them and throw them away, and they end up having a personality and a soul and somebody that I fell in love with. Okay, man, this reading is like totally going way off where I thought it was going to go, but maybe that's going to apply to somebody. What else was going on? Complacency. That also, God, everything that's coming out about this is, and my hair is standing on end. Everything that's coming out about this is making me feel like you got into this relationship for one reason, which was maybe sexual, period. That's it. And this universe had different plans for you. So you were very complacent. You were just kind of like blasé, whatever happens, because you were not in a place of where you were ready to have any kind of a long-term relationship with anybody. And the universe served up a person that was like, yeah, we got bigger and better things for you. And that feels like that might be what is going on, and where some of the truth you're wanting to talk about, or some emotions, some of the stuff that's got you maybe a little bogged down with your feelings. Damn. Vanity. Okay. So, God, everything about this. Okay, so also, maybe you found this person very super attractive, and your ego was like, man, if I can have that person, I will. I'm like, that's going to look good as a feather in my cap. Or what is it? There's like a notch in your bedpost or whatever. So something about this person was going to boost your ego, or this person did boost your ego in some way. So all the reasons that you started out in this relationship shifted along the way when they proved to be a bigger challenge than you thought they were going to be. And they were not who you thought they were. They turned out to be completely different than who you thought they were. Man, this like is making me dizzy. Holy crap. Okay, so, all right. So you started out with a different thinking of how this relationship was going to go, and the universe said, yeah, we got bigger plans for you guys, so we're going to take you on a different path. Okay, we figured that out. So what can you look forward to now? Because you've got someone in your life that you obviously care about a lot. You maybe have a little guilt about how you started this relationship, but that doesn't mean that you don't want to move forward. So what can you look forward to when the truth finally comes out? Whether it's you telling the truth or whether it's the other person. Because remember, this could be flipped. This could be the other person feels this way. It could be you feel this way. Hell, for all you know, both of you felt that way. And now you're like going, all right, there's more than just sex here. So we need to figure this out. Abundance. You can look forward to abundance. What else can you look forward to? Resolving conflict. So that probably maybe that was a lesson that you were supposed to learn, was how to resolve conflict. What else? Spiritual maturity. Yeah, that feels like this is what this whole relationship was about. The universe brought you two together to help with spiritual maturity. Commitment. Oh, so we got some commitment coming down the road here. What else can we expect from this relationship once like the big truth of the sword of truth comes out? Just maturity. That could be just elevating your maturity, or it also could be growing into like old age together. I mean, it could be a relationship where you both grew as people, and now it's kind of a case of like you're going to grow old together. You grew spiritually together, and now you're going to grow old together. That's kind of exciting. So let me see. Do I have any? I want like last words. Oh, do I want the romance cards? No, I don't want the romance cards. Where did my sacred power? Oh, I want the sacred power cards. Okay. So this makes me feel, even though the twin flame card didn't come out, and I have the twin flame card in a couple of decks, but I can't remember which ones. This makes me feel like this could potentially be a twin flame relationship. So let's just see we'll just call last words from the universe. First card out is unconditional love. Okay, so that's what this relationship has turned into. Is started out as sex, but unconditional love came out in the end. So nothing wrong with that. You know what? I'm sure there's a lot of people that started off in relationships that was supposed to be one way and ended up another. Good and bad. Personal power. So I feel like this person is going to, it helps you become a better person. Whatever, however, you both help each other become better people. All right, this turned into a love reading, apparently, but it was not planned that way. All right, there's 3 more cards. Boundaries. Keep your, okay. Make sure you keep your boundaries with that person, because that's one of the things that everybody needs to learn. And so you may have, this whole thing is about learning lessons. So apparently boundaries is one of them. Sound is another. Let me think. How does that play in? In that case, I feel like I don't know. Change. Okay. Yeah, your whole life is about to change. So it started out one way and it's ended up in another. I don't know where that, I'll be honest, I don't know how sound plays into this. If this makes sense to you, maybe that's for a specific person somewhere along the line. Sound is relevant for somebody. Okay, so that's the Aries reading for the first part of October. And I will see you guys middle of October. Bye.